Right, so this business with Greta Thunberg and Andrew Tate, I was debating on whether to weigh in on this myself because, frankly, Thunberg handled herself perfectly well, I thought, and hardly needs me or anyone else to deal with misogynistic butt nuggets, the like of which every woman, sadly, more than likely has a story they could share. However, this particular butt nugget's misogyny and abusiveness was his own undoing, and who doesn't love a story where the villain at the end gets their comeuppance? There must be something about being born in the US and then getting raised in Britain that turns people into right-wing monsters. Boris Johnson, of course, was born in New York, and equally, Andrew Tate was born in Washington, D.C., but raised in Luton. He's done quite well for himself, though. A kickboxing career before going all tinfoil hat and hanging out with the likes of Paul Joseph Watson and Alex Jones on InfoWars. He's a wealthy guy, having all of those cars he was bragging about to Thunberg. But how he came by all that wealth? He would call himself a social media influencer, but how about the girls on camera business he ran with his brother Tristan, or the pyramid scheme operating out of Hustlers University? Perhaps we could all take one of his courses on accumulating wealth and meeting women, or perhaps we can all collectively throw up in a bucket instead. So big-headed is he regarding his influence, he claimed to be the most Googled man on earth to Piers Morgan, and whilst that was true for the month of July, he actually came 8th in the list for 2022. It's not bad, I suppose, but his is not the kind of mentality you want being mainstreamed. Who the hell is watching this guy? He went on Big Brother back in 2016. You might remember if you care to watch such things, and you might also remember that he got booted out when video footage of him hitting a woman with a belt came to light, though claims of consent from both parties were issued later, along with those misogynistic and also homophobic views as his Twitter account came under serious scrutiny. Let's speed through this a little bit, though, because the guy isn't nice, but the crux of what is most concerning about him is his views on sex. He extolled his views of what sexual harassment constitutes in his mind, using Twitter to do it, which saw him kicked off the platform. He's been kicked off Twitter 3 times now, I believe, to the best of my knowledge, but of course, Elon Musk reinstated his account too earlier this month. He has also been booted from Facebook and TikTok. He wanted people to start thinking of sexual assault as being equally the woman's fault too, that blame should be shared in such circumstances. And that can never be right, surely, because the intent can only ever exist in one person's mind, and that is really the mind of the perpetrator. He admits to being a sexist, and he admits to being a misogynist. He believes a woman's place is in the home, and that they also can't drive. He denies hidden illnesses such as depression, and of course comes down on the side of climate change denial, which is all why this 6'3" kickboxing hard man felt so threatened by a slightly built autistic teenager from Sweden. The small Richard energy is strong with this one, and it smells weak and tiny and faintly of wee. He evidently thought it'd be hilarious to troll Greta Thunberg by bragging about his 33 cars, bought off the back of financial con artistry, it would seem to me, and offering to tell her what the emissions of them all are. But of course, Greta, in a tweet that has now been retweeted over 500,000 times, sarcastically dragged him by saying, "Please do enlighten me," and providing an email address for his small Richard energy. Well, his God complex shattered when he finally had time to process what he'd been told, and you wouldn't want to step on the pieces. You could catch something. It took Tate 9 hours to come up with a response where he posted a video of himself mocking Thunberg for having a small penis. Clearly the sarcasm went clean over his head, and he was sat in a chair, chuffing on a cigar, dressed in one of his kickboxing robes, I presume it to be, not threatening in any way, of course, and bragging about his emissions, of which he's made many, and they all stink. But in this case, it was specific to his cars, which apparently run on dead dinosaurs. I've no idea how he fits the bones into the fuel tank. Oil and gas are dead microorganisms, numbnuts, and in the midst of his puffed-up, self-important tirade, he asked for a pizza. Specifically, pizza in a non-recyclable box. Oh, that'll get Greta, won't it? That'll trigger her. Oh, she won't like that, will she? Well, the social media star, the guy Googled by millions, a sorry excuse for what constitutes a man, somebody used to being around a studio, around a camera, and he never thought to fuzz out the details on the pizza box. You see, Andrew Tate was also a wanted man. He'd gone to Romania, having left the UK because he was being investigated over allegations of human trafficking and rape, and things were getting a bit heated here for him, so he was hiding. Having used a local pizza company with their livery all over the box, he was tracked down, arrested, and is now being detained in Romania as part of that ongoing trafficking and rape case. All because he had to post that video. His fragile ego had to respond. He couldn't be one-upped by a woman, couldn't resist taking another swipe at the teenage climate activist who had body slammed him in front of millions in less than 10 words. Her response to his idiotic video and his subsequent arrest? You should have recycled your pizza boxes. That girl is a legend, and frankly, should be named Interpol's Woman of the Year for services to justice, both legal and natural. Let's have a moment of silence for Andrew Tate's dead brain cells, because there seems to be many. Thankfully, now arrested, he won't be in a position to kill off more of what appears to be a limited supply.